Welcome to my Etsy channel. On today's video, I will be doing a Etsy shop critique on the store called Blue Aspen Design. My name is Nancy, and if this is your first time visiting my Etsy channel, I create Etsy videos to help you build a thriving business online. So if this is something that you're interested in doing or interested in maybe creating your new shop or opening a new shop, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and make sure that you hit that notification bell so therefore you'll be the first one to get notified whenever there's a new video. So let's go ahead and get started. So I want to thank Des for allowing me to do a review on her beautiful shop. So let's go ahead and get started. So normally the first thing that I do, guys, is that I pick a listing and I do an audit on that particular listing. I'm actually doing an audit on this listing right here, the one that says laundry. Any tools that I currently use, I will leave the link below under this video. Also, guys, I want to make sure that you guys get my Etsy listing checklist. It's a free resource that will guide you on the things you need to do next time you create a new listing to make sure that you are doing everything correctly and that you're not forgetting different things that do affect your SEO and also getting higher ranking as well as getting more views. So make sure that you click below and get that Etsy listing checklist for free. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I always talk about is product photography. And the reason why is because that's the first thing that the customer sees, right? Another thing you have to keep in mind when you are selling on an e-commerce platform like Etsy, your photos have to be amazing because the customer cannot go to your actual store and look at the product in person, touch it, wear it, use it, whatever it is, right? However, because there's so much limitation, right? You're selling online only. First impressions are very important. The first thing they see is your photo. So you want to make sure that your photo is beautiful, has a clear understanding of what I'm looking at and what I'm getting. You want to make sure that's cropped in a complimentary way. You want to make sure they use natural lighting. You want to make sure that there's no distractions. These are all important because at the end of the day, a bad photo will prevent you from making a sale. It doesn't matter how amazing your product is, a bad photo will prevent that sale. So looking at your photo, Des, on this particular listing, I don't think it looks wrong at all. To be honest, I like the fact that you have a laundry decal and you actually have it in a laundry room. You'd be surprised at how many people have or they sell decals, but they don't do that. They just put it anywhere. So I like the fact that you took the time to find a picture of a laundry room, put the decal there so people could see it on how it will actually look in a laundry room, which makes sense. So in that sense, I think that your photo does look great. I did see that you have a call to action, which I talk about this for my shop, and this is awesome because ultimately you want to create a email list from your Etsy shop. This is how those bigger shops, you see that they have like 20,000 sales and they've been open for like 2 years, and you're like, how? That's the reason. It's because they create an email list, they nurture those email lists, and then later on they'll start promoting their products to them. So it's really good that you're starting that process. Um, I like the fact that you have different photos with it as well. And you did a really good job with the sizing of the photo. All your photos are the same size. A lot of times when I'm doing a critique, the different photos have like different sizes and you could tell. I actually like it like this. It looks more professional. It looks nicer. It looks like you took the time to size them all. So good job on that. And I like the fact that you have also the design color chart at the bottom, at the end of the slide, in case they want a different photo. And that you have the different color options here. That's really good because people want options. And I feel like the more options you could give to someone, regardless of what you sell, but the more options you could give to people, the more chances of them buying because possibly Maybe they didn't want this white, but they wanted it black, or they wanted it pink or a different color. So the fact that you are offering those colors, that's really good. So I like that. So I think overall your photos are good. Um, so I don't think that you need to really do any change on the photos, because even if you added more photos of laundry rooms, this one looks pretty good. So I don't necessarily think that you need to do any changes with your photo at least. So in that area, you're doing excellent. So good job there. The next thing I want to talk about is SEO, also known as search engine optimization. And that's just the way that the XE search results communicate with um, with this actual page. So SEO is SEO is basically how search results, or search engines, I'm sorry, understand what your page is about. And that's based on the keywords that you currently use. So there are going to be on-page SEO factors and off-page SEO factors. So to give you an idea, an on-page SEO factor is your keyword in the beginning of your title, is the keyword in the beginning of your listing description, are the other tags distributed throughout the listing description. These are SEO on page factors. SEO off page factor is when you have the keyword in the title, when you have the keyword as well in the meta description, it shows up, and then you have like an image that's tagged correctly, and etc. etc. So you want to make sure that you use keywords that are, one, for your target audience, two, that are not oversaturated, and three, you want to make sure that is a healthy balance of getting found versus using a keyword that's too popular, too many people are using, so therefore it will be very, very hard for you to rank organically. So looking at your keywords through XERank, which is the tool that I'm using, I definitely recommend changing a lot of your keywords. For instance, rustic laundry decor. The reason why you don't see any information here, or even here says unknown, is because not too many people are searching for rustic laundry decor. So therefore, Xe doesn't even report anything back. This one here, rustic, the competition, as you can see, is very, very high. Another thing that you have to be very careful with when using keywords is that you shouldn't be using one keyword. You could, but in this situation, you're using a keyword that you're not targeting your audience. Now you're targeting anybody and everybody. And this is the reason why a lot of people say sometimes, I get a lot of views, I get a lot of impressions, but I'm not getting sales. That's because they're using the wrong keywords. They're getting a lot of views, but these people are not interested in their product. So the word rustic has over 1 million listings. So think about it that way. When you use a keyword that has over 1 million listings, I mean, you're competing with 1 million people for that keyword. Another thing you got to keep in mind is that rustic is very broad. You're not targeting your audience. So therefore, as you can see, there's a rustic door, there's a rustic frame, there's a rustic coat hook, there's a rustic sign. You see, so now everything and anything is popping up. So therefore, you're not targeting your target audience. You're using a keyword that's oversaturated. And the third thing is, if you wanted to try to rank organically for that keyword, you're not going to be able to because there's too much competition. And if you were to run an XE ad, your cost per bid is going to be a little bit higher because there's so many people competing for that particular keyword. You have to compete with them. Organically, your listing will be somewhere in the bottom of this threshold. The reason why is because there's many different SEO factors that take play, whether your listing is going to be on the first page or if it's going to be like somewhere like buried. And what you want to keep in mind is that you want your listing on the page one, maybe page two, but you want it definitely on page one, because for majority of buyers, especially myself, after I look maybe page one or two, I'm not going to go to page 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? I'll make my decision and just pick whatever I found or not buy, depending on the situation. So you want to make sure that you're using keywords that, one, are for your target audience, two, are not too broad, and three, are not too competitive. So right now, all of these right here are too broad and competitive. All of these right here. This is too broad and competitive. This one is not as competitive, but however, the XE search results means that there's a small percentage of people that are actually looking for that keyword, only 5 to 100 searches per month. So therefore, what happens now is that you're not going to get that many clicks with that particular keyword. It's this one as well. The laundry room, you get 51 to 100 searches per month. So you're not getting that many views. These have more searches and it's high engagement, but however, they're too broad. So therefore, it'll be really hard for you to get. Too oversaturated, meaning too many people are using it, and then also the broad keywords because vinyl could be pretty much anything, wall decor could be anything, wall art could be anything. So you definitely have to work. What I would recommend is doing long tail keywords that describe your item because those are going to target your audience. You're going to find keywords that are not being used because a lot of people don't look for long tail keywords as much. So you'll have a little bit of traffic from those keywords versus the ones that you're currently using. So I do recommend doing your SEO again. I recommend taking the time to research keywords that describe your item and also using long tail keywords. But you definitely need to change. And then you definitely need to change all of them, to be honest, even these two here, because they don't have any type of search every month or engagement. So therefore, it's not even worth having, to be honest. So definitely work on changing those keywords. Once you have the new keywords, it's very important that you separate them by using commas when you put it here. Now, with the new XC change, what they want you to do is just put the one keyword in the beginning of the sentence and then write this as natural as you can without sounding like a robot. So you want to make sure that you describe it, write a nice caption that somebody's going to want to click on the photo to learn more. You also want to make sure that, let's say this is the main keyword here. You want to use that keyword in the beginning of your listing description. This is what is called a meta description. And Google, when somebody finds you on Google, that's what they read, that's what they see. It's the little snippet that comes below your title. So you want to make sure that what I would do is lift this up and then put your get instant 30% down. Because right now when people find laundry, that's what they see. So they're not going to really know what they're buying. So highly recommend changing that as an on page SEO factor that will help you increase your sales and increase your clicks. So therefore, a likelihood of someone buying from you and increasing your sales. The third thing that I want to talk about is listing description. And the listing description should include anything and everything about that particular listing. So you should include how to order, because a lot of people really don't understand Etsy or it might be their first time visiting. So, letting them know how to order, what's included, the size, the color, the material, the shipping policy, the return policy, making sure that you cover everything and anything about that particular listing. There's two reasons why you want to do that. One is to build credibility with the customer. The more information you have about that particular listing, the more chances of them saying, oh, okay, let me just go ahead and buy it. The reason also that you want to put all that information in there is because stores that have everything completed, from store policy to shipping policy to listing description to photos, etc., Etsy ranks them higher on the search results. So you will definitely get more views and impressions just by simply filling out your entire shop. And I think the bonus one I want to say also is that If you have all the information listed, and God forbid Etsy seller gets upset or didn't read something and opens a case against your shop, Etsy will abide by you. Etsy will take your side because you did list everything and anything. So you will be protected by Etsy and you will not get a strike against your shop. So I highly recommend it for doing it for all three reasons, right? You want to do it for your own selfish way so your store could stay open and maintain your income, but you also want to look out for customers by answering any questions that they have. I think overall you've done an excellent job. I like the fact that you have it separated by little headlines, and I like that because it's easier to kind of go through it versus a big block of text. It's easier to skim and kind of go through the section I want to go to. I love the emojis. I'm an emoji person. The reason why is because it breaks down the information a lot easier. And so overall, I think your listing description looks really good. You've done a really, really good job. So in that sense, I don't necessarily think there's anything you have to change. The only thing I would do is at the end of this page, I will add your backlink to your homepage because a lot of times when people finish reading, they'll click on the back button and they'll leave your actual Etsy shop, and they won't know how to come back. So if by you putting a link, it will guide them again to your homepage. So therefore, keeping them longer in your Etsy shop. And the goal is, the longer they stay, the more likelihood of them either favoring your store or buying something from you. So I highly recommend doing that. The last thing I want to talk about is the curation of your shop. And the curation of your shop is just the overall look of it, is the branding, the colors, your photos, etc. So I like the fact that you have a banner, it's really pretty. I like that you have become a club member and you get a discount and you have it right in front. I actually like the colors. The color palette I think is very pretty. I like the name of your store. I like your tagline. I like that you have your location set, and I like that you have a photo of yourself. And I could tell how you look, right? A lot of photos are distorted or the person's looking to the side and you can't really tell who I'm buying from. The reason why it's important to have that filled out, have your name and have like your about me section filled out is because people want to know who they're buying from. When people come to Etsy to buy, they're buying handmade items. So therefore, they want to connect with who created that item. It's not like Amazon that you just buy stuff that's already produced and it's probably not even produced from that particular person. That particular person just sells it. But with Etsy, it's a little bit different. People are buying here because it's a custom made item and they want to connect with people. I love the fact that you have beautiful photos. You have updates about what you do, and you have like you showcasing your work. I think that's really important to do stuff like that. Guys, another thing about updating Etsy updates is that whenever you add, I don't know if you knew this, but whenever you guys add a photo, one of these photos on your shop, what that does is that if you got, let's say you have like, okay, so Des has 133 people have liked this shop. So therefore, whenever you update a new photo and you put it here on the updates, guess what? Those 133 people get a notification. So it's really, really cool because if you did that once a week and you just added a new photo of a project or something that you're working on, and they receive that notification, that's more traffic to your shop. If you did that 4 times a week, I'm sorry, 4 times a month. Let's say you did it every Monday, you just updated one photo. You don't want to go too much, like update too many, because then it starts to look like clutter. But if you just do one photo a week or maybe two photos a week, that you're actually multiplying traffic. You're actually sending traffic back to your shop because these people that favor your shop, they're going to get the notification that you have updated something. So I highly recommend starting to do that. So you've done a really good job with that. And I like the photos. And I like the photos are like this to here. A lot of times I see a lot of shops that they list the same photo like here. And what happens with that is just starts to look very repetitive. But when you have it like this and you have different pictures, in my opinion, it looks way better. It looks more professional. It looks like you took the time to put different photos. So I like that. I like that you're actually doing updates. Your bio is really good. You have all your links. You have your photo back down here. A lot of people forget to put the photo down here. Definitely want to make sure you have it on both. Um, you did work on your policy and your freaking last question. So I think that you are one of the few people that have taken the time to go through the store and kind of fill out every little feature that you get. And guys, keep in mind that by doing this, you will rank higher on Etsy. This is something that they have said. It's not something that I'm just saying to say. You could go to their blog and find it, and they actually talk about it all the time. Um, I also like the fact that you have been featured on these big channels like CBS, Fox, NBC, and the fact that you have it here that validates who you are. So that's good. That's always a good thing to showcase, and congrats on that. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think overall you've done a really good job. I think the most important thing is your SEO because your photos are not that bad, to be honest. I think that what's happening right now is your SEO is not targeting the right people and it's too broad, and you're just using keywords to use keywords. So therefore, that's why you're not targeting the right people. And then if other people are seeing it, they're probably not really interested in your product. So if you were to change your SEO, and my only other suggestion probably is create a branding color. And what that means is having the same kind of field or the same colors throughout your whole listings. That creates cohesiveness, and it just makes your shop look very one color, or not one color, but the same structure of colors. It just makes it look nicer and more professional. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think overall you've done a really, really good job. So just keep in mind that um, just you had the store since 2016. To be honest, you're far ahead of the game. Um, it's especially because I look at so many stores when I do research and etc. So my biggest recommendation would be SEO for you. Guys, I'm trying to create a sense of community where we all come together and we help each other, and we leave constructive criticism. So if you guys have any feedback on that store, and you recommend something, leave a comment below. Also, make sure, guys, that you like this video, and don't forget to get that checklist of Etsy listing checklist on my blog at nancybadija.com. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you on the next video.